Hi Pisces, welcome to your love reading for June 2018. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. Okay, so I've already shuffled the decks, and as you can see, you had 3 jumping cards. Let's see what they are. So the first card that jumped for you is the Four of Cups, and this jumped with the Eight of Pentacles. So, you know what I get from these 2 cards, the energy of the Four of Cups is feeling unhappy, kind of feeling like something's missing. For some of you, you may kind of feel like there's something wrong in your relationship right now, or is there something wrong? There could be something wrong with your partner. The Eight of Pentacles is saying there's a lot of work to do when it comes to your relationship in order for you to feel happy with where you are. Now, the other jumping card that you have is the Magician. So the Magician is telling you what's going to happen between you and your partner, or what's going to happen in your love life is actually completely up to you. The Magician is the energy of you are creating your own reality. So if you are in, the energy of fear, and the reason that I say that, because look at the card that's at the bottom of the deck, the Nine of Swords, which is the worry card, the nightmare card. If you are in this energy, imagining the worst, imagining that you and your partner are going to break up, or you're going to divorce, that's why this card jumped for you, then you're creating that kind of reality. So if you are in a place of fear right now, know that that can have real consequences. Okay, so those were just jumping cards. Let's go ahead and pull the cards for your reading. This is a love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Page of Coins, 3 of Coins, 3 of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. The Fool. Love reading for the sign of Pisces. Death. 4 of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Pisces. 7 of Swords. 10 of Swords. 5 of Coins. Okay, what's the most important message that Pisces needs to hear for June 2018? The Knight of Cups. So this is telling you that it's time for movement in your love life. And the Knight of Cups can mean that it's time for marriage. It's time for commitment. But this can even be, somebody surprising you. Somebody sweeping you off your feet. Somebody telling you that they're in love with you. This is a really positive card. We'll come back to it to see how it ties in with everything that you see here. Let's start at the top. So you have the Page of Coins, the 3 of Coins, and the 3 of Cups. So what I'm really focusing on is this right here, because this is the energy of you being extremely happy with where you are in your love life, in your relationship. Now you do have this message from the 3 of Coins that in order to get here, it's going to require a lot of effort. And remember that you did have the 8 of Pentacles jump at the beginning of the reading. It jumped when I was shuffling, which is saying, it was telling you that you may be feeling unhappy about your relationship, but there's a lot of work to do here. So that message is being repeated. But either, this can be happiness returning to your relationship. This can even be marriage. However, you do have the Page of Coins first. This is the very first energy, which is always really significant. And this is telling you that right now you need to look at what's going on in your relationship very carefully. The Page of Coins usually comes up because there's something that you're not seeing. There's something that you need to see. There's something that you need to learn. Perhaps there's something that you need to see about your partner. Maybe there's something that you need to see about, patterns that keep repeating themselves. Maybe something that's working against you, working against your relationship. There's a need to look closely here, look deeper at your marriage or your relationship, and know that there's a lot of work to do. You really have to kind of take it beyond the call of duty in order to get the happy outcome that you want, in order for happiness to return if you're really struggling. And I do see that happening. And remember, the main energy is a Knight of Cups, positive movement in your love life. Okay, so in the next row here you have the Fool, Death, and the 4 of Swords. So let's just start here. Death, a major arcana, which means, it's time for a big change, a big transformation in your love life, which ties in with the Knight of Cups. Time for a movement in your love life, time for a big transformation and a new beginning. The Fool, the energy of a new beginning. This is a new beginning where you're just going to have to trust. You're going to have to trust. And I feel like, this could take time because you have the 4 of Swords. This is not a card of action. If anything, this means that somebody may need some space. So your partner could have asked for some space. Maybe you need some time to figure things out. This is a really mental card where usually like you just don't know, and you need time to think. So for some of you, there could be some space between you and your partner, but remember that you're going through a big transformation here, an ending and a new beginning. You actually do have an ending, new beginning in this card, and then a new beginning here. So there are two new beginnings that come maybe after some space, after somebody figures out what they want. Because remember that you started off with this message that this is the time to open your eyes and look very, very carefully at what's going on. I do see happiness, but it does mean there's a lot of work to do. Okay, in the bottom row here you have the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Five of Coins. So let's just start here. The Ten of Swords. This is a loud message that it's time to move on. And for some of you, I feel like there's different messages here. Remember, this is a general reading, so it's hard to say exactly what the cards are trying to say. In general, this card usually means that you've been hurt, betrayed, lied to, you've been down, and it's just time for you to move on. And the cards on either side of it are confirming that. They're tying into that energy. Somebody feels really alone. Somebody feels really like shut out. This is like the energy of like somebody not even bothering to break up with you. Somebody just completely like, blocking you on social media, changing their phone number. Like you just don't know why. You're completely in the dark. And then over here, the Seven of Swords, this is somebody perhaps, lying to you. This can represent deceit. For those of you where you're going through that, it's time to move on. Or it could be that you're making the decision to move on. Now, it doesn't have to be, for everyone, you may not be moving on from, a betrayal, or you may not want to move on. Some people just don't. You want to work it through. And I do see that in this reading with the Eight of Coins jumping for you, and then I pulled the Three of Coins for you. Some of you want to work through this. And I am going to get a few more cards for you. But it's time to move on, maybe from something really challenging that happened. Perhaps, a betrayal. Maybe your partner lied to you. It doesn't have to be about cheating. It can be lying about something else. Maybe you just, you're not really connecting anymore with the Five of Coins. Maybe you feel really alone. Maybe you're not spending enough time together. I feel like the Seven of Swords can also be that you need to open your eyes, maybe what's happening in your relationship. Because, it is time for change. And with the Knight of Cups, maybe some of you, you need to open your eyes, take off the blinders to see that it's time to move on from a cycle where you don't need to be. Where maybe, again, you feel really isolated. Maybe you're just not connecting. There's something wrong. And you did start off with that message with the Page of Coins telling you that you need to open your eyes because there's something that you're not seeing here. There's something that you're missing in your relationship. You need to look deeper. Okay, let's get 3 more cards from this deck. What other message is there for the sign of Pisces for June? Knight of Coins. The Magician. Didn't this card jump for you? I'm pretty sure that it did. And the World. Okay. So 2 major arcanas with the Knight of Coins. Now the Knight of Coins does mean that you're going to see improvement in your situation, especially if what you're going through is this down here. Perhaps, somebody's lying to you, somebody hurt you, you feel really alone. Things will get better. You have the Knight of Coins telling you that you're making progress towards healing this, even if it doesn't feel that way. Some of this has to be you. You have the Magician telling you that this is actually, most of it is in your hands. The Magician is telling you you're creating your own reality. And I feel like for some of you, the strongest feeling I get from the world is that you have to know that it's time for a new cycle in your relationship. And for some of you, it can be time to move on. I feel like for the last few signs that I'm reading for, like y'all are having like the same message. Like, I think it came up for Aquarius and Libra. This is just telling you that you have to know that your love life will be what you want it to be. Because remember that you did have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck when we started, which means that you're doing a lot of worrying about your love life. So that's what you're focusing on. That's what you'll get. You'll actually create whatever it is you're worrying about. You're creating your own reality. And know that it's time for a new cycle with the world. The world is just, it's an ending. It's the last card of the major arcanas, and it just represents endings and also new beginnings. It's time for a new cycle. And you have that all right here. New beginning, ending, new beginning, ending a new beginning, totally up to you. I just feel like, a new beginning is being like waved right in front of you. You decide. But again, some of you may not even be aware of this with the Page of Coins being there. This is something that you need to look at your situation carefully. And down here, you need to open your eyes. Like, don't lie to yourself, especially if you're covering for someone right here. If you're saying, oh, they're not lying, they're not cheating, or I don't feel alone, I don't feel hurt. That's not what I see right here. Okay, let's get a few more cards from the confirmation deck. What other message is there for the sign of Pisces for June? Knight of Wands. What other message is there for the sign of Pisces for June? Seven of Cups. Nine of Cups. What's the most important message that Pisces needs to hear from this deck for June 2018? Two of Swords. Time for decisions. The Two of Swords usually does mean that you're stuck. That you need to act. You need to make a decision. Usually with the Two of Swords, you're dealing with something that's really tricky and really complicated. And I mean, this ties in with the Seven of Swords. Both are difficult cards, and most of the time both of them are also trying to tell you there's something you don't want to look at, or something that you're just like, you're turning your head and saying, I don't see it, I don't see it. There's something that you need to look at. And for some of you, it could be that you're not happy. It could be that, you want your partner to change. But the Two of Swords is just a message that until you take action or you say something, everything's going to stay the same. You're going to stay where you're at. So let's look at these three cards. Now, this is, actually a positive message. Although it does say, let's just start here. The Seven of Cups is, it's just telling me that you're probably highly confused right now. And, I gathered that from the Page of Coins. You're highly confused. You're maybe even really emotional. But there's a need to make a decision, which ties in with this. You need to make a decision. But here I feel like you could be really emotional to where you're not seeing things clearly. And it could be that you're really upset about what's going on down here. Maybe you're really upset over betrayal or feeling really lonely. Somebody lying to you. There's a need to really kind of figure things out. And again, only you can do this. You have the Magician. Only you can do this. Because I see you being very happy here with the Nine of Cups. Yes, you're confused. Maybe you're really emotional, feeling lost. If you actually take control, I see you. This is the Wish card. You have the energy of a wish being granted. Whether it's fixing a relationship, a marriage, meeting somebody new. Whatever it is that you're wishing for, you have the Wish card. But it is with the Knight of Wands, which means that it's actually a wish that comes true because you've been really persistent. The energy of the Knight of Wands is, I will not give up. I will keep trying. I will die or keep trying. I will not stop until I get what I want. And I see you getting exactly what you want because of you. And again, this all ties in with the Magician, which is telling you you're creating your own reality. You're more powerful than you think you are. So I don't know. I feel like for some of you, you may feel like things are hopeless. Like you may feel like there's really nothing I can do. But, that's not what I see in these cards. I feel like you are so determined to see something happen or to fix something that you actually make it happen. Here it goes again, you make magic happen. That's what the Magician means. You are the Magician. Although you may be highly confused and you may not see that right now. You may be, again, you're not seeing clearly with the Seven of Cups. You're very emotional. That is why you have the Knight of Coins, telling you that you're making progress, slow progress, but you will get there. Just know, that it's time for a new cycle in your love life. Let's go over the main energies again. The first one was the Knight of Cups. You see that here. With the Fool, the Death card, and then the other card that we had here before was the World. It's time for change in your love life. So again, if you've been in a place where you're really unhappy and maybe, there have been betrayals, there have been lies, or you just feel really disconnected, unhappy, it's time for change. And there can even be, somebody that comes and changes everything with this energy of the Knight of Cups. Somebody that sweeps you off your feet. There can even be another partner that comes into your life, because the Seven of Cups sometimes means that there are so many choices that you're confused and you don't know what to choose. And that could also come up with this energy of the Two of Swords. The twos have to do with choosing between two things, two people, two outcomes, and you may have to choose. That could be that is what the difficult decision is. Maybe there's more than one person. But I do see here, I mean, just the overall feeling I get from this reading is that the most important one is always the first card. There's something going on in your love life where you have to look deeper, or you may miss the message. I feel like there's, something about yourself, your partner, your feelings for your partner. You need to look a lot closer. You need to see something I feel like that you're not seeing. And a strong energy of endings and new beginnings. I mean, the Fool, Death, the World. Endings, it's time for endings and new beginnings, and lots of signs have been getting this message, and I just feel like there's something really difficult that you're going through, like somebody lying to you and heard a betrayal, and just feeling completely like, why, like in the dark, like you don't even know what happened. I just feel like if you stay really focused on getting what you want, you're getting that outcome. The Nine of Cups, a wish is being granted, but it happens again. It happens because you are determined to see this happen with this energy of the Knight of Wands. This is the energy of not stopping until you get what you want. Okay, Pisces, this has been your love reading for June 2018. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.